back. Course number 4, day number 2. This one's going to be Mandolin Walk Golf and Country Club by the one and only Sam. Reeves actually going to be joining me on this one for as long as he can hang around. Before we kick this off, I always preface these streams by saying, A, I'm using player clubs instead of tour clubs, just because a lot of the CC guys, I'm assuming, are going to be using player clubs, so it does me very little good to use tour clubs off these if they're not going to be playing them. B, my scoring is not indicative of how the judge or how the course is going to be judged. It's also not indicative of whether or not I find it CC appropriate. Some rounds I play well, some rounds I don't. If it's Tuesday, apparently I'm not going to play for crap all day. So just get used to some fast downswings here, guys. Third, if there are technical issues on a course, it will be pointed out as a technical issue so that you're aware of it. But beyond that, most of my comments are only my opinions. As a designer, I see things, and if I look at something and think that it might help the looks or the playability of something, then, I'm going to make a comment about it. It's not meant as negative. You can take it how you want to take it. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. You don't have to agree with it. I'm not perfect in my analysis or in my opinions. That being said, please don't come back to the forums and jump in a thread and raise hell about it, and don't PM me over and over again talking about how unfair I am in my critiques. So that just is what it is, guys. So without further ado,
you can yell at me all you want.
Yeah, Reeb doesn't care if you yell at him.
Go ahead.
I need to check his and see if he had a recommended tee and pin set. Once again, for those of you that haven't seen this, for those of you that don't know that we're actively judging, on your original post, please put what tees and pins you want us to play as judges. If not, we just pick out what we think is best and run. That's not always a good thing. So, so he's got every other bit of information in here. Well, I don't see where he's mentioning anything right now. It's looking like gold pins. For the purpose of judging, I would suggest black tees and pin set 1 to gauge CC Pro suitability. So black tees, pin set 1. We got it, guys. We got it.
$72.95.
Okay. And away we go.
I'll just hit it to the tee here.
See, what time is it? 2 o'clock my time, so I get through with this one. I don't know if I'll squeeze another one out this afternoon or not. I've got to start prepping some dinner. We started doing this home chef thing, and it's one of those meal. I'm actually really digging it. The only thing that I've had a complaint about thus far is the portion sizes are perfect for my wife. They are not perfect for me. 6 ounces of steak does not fill me up. So I'm more of a 16 ounce to 20 ounce of steak kind of guy. But beyond that, man, they've been pretty good. And it's kind of nice to have the fresh ingredients there. I find out that I don't throw as much fresh food away because we go to the grocery store and we shop about every 2 weeks and spend anywhere from $350 to $500 on a damn grocery bill every 2 weeks. And like when we get some of our meats like chicken and everything and put it, we make plans that I'm going to make it this night, and it's like, oh, I want Chinese tonight, or I want pizza tonight, or we're going to go out and eat tonight. Next thing you know, chicken's no good anymore. So there's that. But seem a little bit rough off the opening here with the fairway brushes, but it works, I guess. He's at least kept it consistent.
He tried to make a tunnel for water down here with a bunch of bridges.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
It caught my eye a little bit. It just may not have disguised it. I assume that might be something we see. Yeah, we're going to sit on a different hole coming in there, so I don't have a problem with it. He's trying to hide it a little bit, but let me take a practice swing really quick. See how fast I'm hitting my downswings now.
Hey, nice wind.
Oh my God. I don't have 18 miles an hour for a change.
Like 1.
Yeah.
Which I don't have the chat available right now. So if anybody says anything that needs my input, let me know.
Gotcha.
Please.
Oh, and of course, same swing comes out fast that time. God, I hate this fucking tempo swing. I don't care if it's consistent, but
There's a firmness on these anyway. I don't remember.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. This green looks like it should be a marshmallow in Lucky Charms. Seriously. It's okay, I'll just crush my putt anyway.
Stop ball. Shit, stop.
Is this that same green texture you were talking about earlier that looks like it's aerated?
Yeah, I'm starting to see it now. I hadn't really noticed it before if it was there, but it's becoming prominent. Well, we got some ridging over there on that green, don't we? It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty hardcore for a 470-yard hole, especially playing it back to an area where I can only assume is going to be pinned back in that back right. That's interesting. That's interesting. Sam hates when I do his course reviews. Sam thinks I'm unfair.
Well, you are. Let's just admit it and move on. No,
Different green speeds are eating my ass alive. About the time I get my putts dialed in on one speed, being at 180, then I'm down to 160s, and then 178, and then 150s, and before this
you know, I'm looking around at all the empty space here, and I'm wondering why that tee is so close to the green there. Because I think you would have been able to have a lot more fun with your sculpting if that tee wasn't slammed up there. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, could have done something a little bit different with the bunkers up here, green side as well. Namely, just lowering the terrain. He's effectively blocked it off visually with these hills, like right here in the front. That is kind of blocking the shot of the bunkers right there. Smoothing that out helps a lot because he's actually lowered it on this side, but he's blocked it with a hill here in front. That really doesn't serve a purpose from a playability standpoint. So a little bit smoother right there makes that look a lot better. Yeah, this is going to be ugly.
I'm also curious why there's a sign to the right of the green where the only place you could walk over there is into the woods. And it's like, no, don't go into the woods. Hole 2 is over there. Stop marching into the woods. There is no need.
Goodness.
Oh, these player club distances are going to screw with me. I'm not used to this.
Yep. I've been saying it the last couple of days, I play better with tour clubs than I do with player clubs. Hell, I hit better with tour clubs. That's what's funny is that my swing is actually more dialed in with freaking tour clubs and player clubs, as hard as that is to believe.
Well, this hole 2 is in between clubs with player clubs for me because I didn't change my bag. Oh, look at you. You're just going to go right in the hole?
Yeah, I was trying. I'm going to make up for that bogey on one, but alas, it was not meant to be.
It's okay. I had a 31-footer right to left downhill a foot, so no worries. Forgive me.
Haven't actually followed his course thread, but based on some of the pictures that I'd seen of it, this is not what I was expecting as far as some of the looks. But Sam with the split fairway, imagine that. Imagine that.
Well, the thing is, from the tee, it just looks like a shadow. I was like, oh, this is a nice tee shot. And then I zoom in, and I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll be John. Oh, I take back that last comment.
Well, I'm not sure what purpose the second fairway affords you except for a shorter landing area if you don't want to go. I mean, I see it like right here on this side, but the way it bends off to the right, it's effectively blocked by the trees. Now, his argument's going to be that you can hit through the trees and everything else. Okay, yeah, I get that, but it's not a high percentage shot with very little reward to it. I mean, seriously, because then you're going to be behind
I'll
another
go over it.
tree on a left to right wind. I don't know about that one.
No, I
Usually,
mean
I
if
don't
the pin placement
criticize
is
split
way over
fairways
to
a
the right
lot,
of
but
it.
this one doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, especially the second fairway stretches out to the left so far. It's too much.
I need to start aiming 40 yards left on everything and just forget about trying to even a swing out because it doesn't matter. I intentionally hit that slow, still came out fast.
Yeah, see, I decided to take on the right side fairway, and I got there no problem.
Okay, well, maybe it
Through the
serves its
trees.
purpose there, but it's a little bit weird there off the tee. I didn't get it.
Well, I guess my thing is, even if it serves its purpose, could the hole have been just as good, if not better, without it? And I think
Yeah.
the answer is yes. Like just moving the fairway around a little bit or something instead of, well, that didn't work. I was trying something. Yeah, well, there was my fast downswing for the day, right?
Tricky little pin on that one.
I will say he took, even though I know it didn't, there was a little bit of a tiff had about everything. He took some of what Tace said in his nasty video about bunker shapes to heart. I don't see any single shapes yet, or ovals. Just a lot of Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with some round fair or bunkers. I use them.
Oh, I meant green
I don't
shapes,
try to
sorry.
go. Oh, I was gonna say bunkers. I don't have a problem with those.
No. You know, as simple as this fourth tee shot is, I think it's my favorite so far.
Yeah, I like the flow of this hole. Waterfall
Yeah.
looks like it's well done behind it as well.
And I will say for anybody watching, the width of this fairway is so big, and the physics in this game are so much better. Why people aren't taking more chances, and I talked to Griff about this earlier, with using elevation and sculpting to move the ball around. I just am baffled by that.
No, absolutely. That's where you can
There's a
create some of your
huge opportunity
difficulty
here.
is making people play angles and everything else. I wish he would have dropped this center part of this fairway right here where it starts running downhill. That needs to go down just a little
Hmm.
bit faster, a little bit smoother because right now it hides the bunker, and that is actually a good bunker fronting that hole right there. It actually adds a lot to the hole if you can see it, but you
It
don't really
does.
see it from back here because of the contouring. But yes, Sam, we are nitpicking the shit out of your stuff more so than we have other courses because you're Sam. It's what we do.
Well, because you design a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
I know that you're one who would want to hear it. So here you go.
Oh, did he? Ah, damn it. Yeah, good
Try to
looking
sneak him
waterfall
with the
back there.
waterfall.
I'm not the biggest fan of the whole waterfall thing. I think I was predispositioned not to be a fan of the waterfalls because I knew everybody was going to start freaking doing them. But
Yeah,
that one works right there. There's some decent rock work going into it right there with the way it comes down, so I don't have a problem with that one.
it does. I wish it was a little more natural looking, but I'm sure it's meant to be a designed feature based on the fact that it's coming out of a pipe in the back. Ooh, look at the winding stairs coming down from the tee here. Looks like somebody wanted to play dominoes. Yeah, just a
I'm
little
trying to
different
negotiate
elevation.
this putt here. Man, that's a
Oh, you're still back there. Sorry.
yeah, that's a tough putt I just had right there from that distance. It had like a weird break to it, so
I'm wondering again, this is a tee shot that would have benefited a lot from some more aggressive elevation work, I think.
yeah.
Everything just feels pretty safe right now.
Especially on the back side of where your ball is, if you raise that up and slope it from that side, it's running
Yeah.
down, could have been pretty cool. My first impression on this one off the tee is that it feels rather empty. As weird as it is to say, it feels like it's missing something in my sight line. There's just a lot of really open space with some trees mixed into the left. But I know that's being hypercritical, but it's just my first impression off the tee.
What's like on the second shot? I know you're not there yet, but there's a split to the fairway, which is fine. I just wish there was more reason for it to be split, because right now there doesn't. I mean, it's what we didn't want to mow that grass.
Yeah.
Like put a bigger ditch or a rock or something. I don't know.
I personally don't care where the hell that ball goes right there. I absolutely fucking hate playing when I can't do anything with the clubs. And unfortunately, it's beyond me right now. I don't have an answer for what's going on. So
See, the only thing that's helped me so far on PS4 the last couple of times is not pulling the stick back all the way.
and
You
it
know what I
hasn't
mean? I just
mattered.
like I barely pull it back and just watch the animation go. But I'm playing like crap anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's a little bit of a different hole right there. Would like to have actually gotten to play the hole.
That would have been good.
Yeah, I'll catch it on another
You know,
playthrough.
from the tee, this next one looks okay, but those bunkers out there are kind of funky. And then the fairway brushes, I don't quite understand, but that's okay. Also, the fairway is starting like 100 yards from the tee. I think this one you could have left the right side open, ditched those trees on the right, and wrapped it around, and it could have been pretty cool.
See, I don't mind the bunkers so much. It's a different take on it. That's definitely one of those
Yeah.
artistic things that I can say, okay, I mean, it's effectively making one big waste bunker to the right, just doing it with circles.
Yep.
So that kind of gives it a neat little element. That's cool. But I agree with with where the fairway starts, and I'm not sure what he's going with on the brushes on the fairway on this. Those are kind of roughly put together. That's a coarse cleanliness issue there. It actually looks like he took a
And then,
circle brush and went down the side, just plop, 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 creating. But
and you know what? The approach to this one, I appreciate the fact that the bunkers are trying to get a little aggressive here. They just aren't done terribly well. And there's this runoff to the right that I just don't get.
that's a Sam feature. You just know that coming into is that expect runoffs regardless.
Well, but I
So
mean, it's like I'm going to put a runoff behind the bunker. That's it's like, aha, I'm going to combine two hazards that have nothing to do with each other.
I'm going to play that one as the most unconventional way possible.
That's the only way to play, man.
Of course, that one's going to check up. That one's not going to roll out at all. It's going to start sliding downhill and stop. Yay
I will
me.
say that there are a lot of features so far that I expect to see from Sam, but he is doing some things a little differently. You know what I mean? I can't put my finger on it. It's not fitting directly into his mold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In spots. We both on the tee for the par three.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to take some practice swings here. Goodness.
Right in between clubs again. You know, Sam, I love you, but this clubhouse thing is like Frank Lloyd Wright ate too much tacos and like had diarrhea. I get what you're doing. It's just too much for me.
Yeah, that's a little overcooked, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right over the hole. So,
I'm gonna wait for you to finish that hole because I want to talk about number 8 for a second.
yeah, I'm still kind of like looking at the green and where it's going. I probably would have flattened out a little bit of this top portion. This is going to kind of go back to what I was talking about on Carolina Shores. Not a big fan of really wicked breaking greens on really long par threes, and because of the elevation and everything else on this ends up playing significant. It's not as bad as Terry's was, but that's a pretty.
Well, having a tier, the tier doesn't bother me, but the fact that it's carried way over to the right, like to where if you got into that bunker to the right and tried to hit up there, I don't even know what you'd do.
Yeah.
But this next tee shot, I'm telling you, this hole would be so cool. You could do so much with this, but just totally get rid of the right side. Just destroy it. Just blow it up.
Yeah, the split in the
I don't
fairway.
understand it at all. Imagine if you had spent more time on the left side of this thing, tilted it a little, put some bunkering out there, and just totally ignore the right side. Or put a second hole, put a hole coming back the other direction on the other side. I don't know. That's just
Yeah, I
me.
can see that because you're right. The water feature in the middle is pretty cool looking.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
And if you had just spent your time on one side, I think it would have been great.
and he's actually got the start of what you're talking about on the left hand side where your ball just went. If that was kind of sloped, if it just ran from the other side of that fairway, if that was raised just a little bit and then cleanly sloped from there down into those rocks, that would be pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool. It makes sense as
That'd be
as a
great.
whole. So, yeah, I could see that.
I just the right side. I don't see it. I mean, I see where you can get an angle over there, but it's not that long of a hole unless you play it and make it difficult for yourself like I did. But
Well, like what I'm trying to do.
yeah, you do it too. It's fine.
No, I stayed on
The
a
left
surface, but
the left front of this green is like a little bubble of false front. Oof, yucky. It's fine. It's just oof. Gonna hurt somebody's feelings at some point, which is good. Players should have their feelings hurt occasionally.
yeah, we're all about the hurt of the feelings.
You'd laugh. I was telling you that tournament I played in the other day, Griff. On 18, it's short, and we were trying to drive the green. We ended up under this tree over to the left, and there was this hump in front of where the pin was. And they're like, well, you're the only one who can hit a decent flop shot out of here. I hit the most beautiful little shot. As soon as I hit it, I'm like, oh, it's perfect. It catches the tip of one little branch hanging down from this tree. I was so mad. Talk about hurt feelings. Oh, that ticked me off. Coming off, I'm like, this is in the hole. This is dead solid perfect. Nope. Now I got a fast downswing. Thanks, Griff. Thanks. That.
I don't know that it's always entirely on a player. I swear to God, man, sometimes it just changes in the middle of a round. And then again, I've been fighting it all day. All day I've been fighting the swing. So,
Oh my gosh, Sam. Look at this. He took wall and put it all the way down the center of this road.
yeah, there's some work on that one. Yeah, that's kind of a cool feature, the way he's got it done in there. That's pretty cool.
I'm just thinking how much money the course spent on that. Guy wasting my dues. The tee shot on this hole didn't do a whole lot for me, but the second shot on this hole was really nice.
I actually don't mind the tee shot on this one as much. Only because
Well,
the
I'd say
way
it's okay.
the way the dog leg comes. I mean, it's not necessarily spectacular. It doesn't necessarily do the most to showcase what's going on. But it does make you think a little bit whether you're going to try to bend it, where's the wind blowing, and all
Hmm.
that, especially it being a par five. So that is kind of interesting.
I really liked the second shot on this one. I thought that was pretty nice. Just the way the hole flows in such a way that it directs your eyes where they should go.
Yeah.
And I love you saying that that's something that you miss sometimes. That was well done.
Get up there. Barely avoided trouble right there.
It's okay. I'm in it all the time. So hmm.
Nothing like taking birdie out of your hands. Oh man, everything of mine has just been off today. Putting, chipping. I'm usually spot on with a chipping.
I was going to say with your chipper, you use
Yeah,
one
with
of
my
those little cheap
chipper.
clubs.
No, I've got a
Hate that.
friend that does though. It's hilarious.
It's funny.
This chipping wedge.
It's like they try and swing it like a putter, but they have like a
Hmm.
seizure when they hit it. It's like bring it back like a putt and then seizure swing.
Yeah. Which, I mean, a lot of times around the green, I'll use an iron and swing it like I do my putter. I mean, I actually try to put the ball with an iron just to get it up and let it
Oh
roll,
yeah.
kind of do. The
Tee shot on this one. I think those first two trees on the right could just go away.
Yeah,
Like do something more with the water. Well, we'll tell you from where I am playing, the second shot on this hole is really nice from where I'm playing. I don't know. I don't know if you're going to end up in the same spot as me or not. But
no, I'm gonna behind grass. That's what I do. And I tell you what, doesn't do me any good to do much of anything besides just whack this out and get into more heavy rough. Uh, this will eventually cause me to do nothing but design and absolutely refuse to play this game. I mean, it
this
really
green
will.
shaping is odd. No, I totally understand. And that bunker in front is a missed opportunity because I think, like I was saying before, you could have kept that away from the putting surface but made it play as though it was tucked up right next to it just by sculpting it differently. And for all the bunkers that are around this hole, this green is so big, I don't know that many of them are ever going to see a ball.
Yeah.
Except for Griff's, because it's hole 10.
I'll
So,
I'll apparently find it.
well, not if it was like hole 5. You did a good job on the water edge planting on 11. Although I will say the length of this hole, taking taking even 3 wood almost out of my hands seems a bit much. Especially you look at the approach to this green. You see what I see?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a more open approach. Like this is not the hole where you should have chosen to. I'm going to make the approach really difficult. That should have been like the last hole.
Yeah. No, there's not much that fits on this hole. Cutting the green right there, making it. I mean, look at the length. So you take. And I'm even long from where I should be. So you're effectively about. What shot do you have? About 185 to the green.
199.
199 in your green complex with some really funky slope there off to the right and not much of a landing area to the left to the right. So you're going to have a shit putt regardless how you come out. So, I mean, we're just, I don't know, man. Just trying to make stuff as hard as possible for it to be as hard as possible.
Yeah, this hole does not fit the rest of the course at all.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be cranky, but this is not what I consider to be a very strong design element for a par 4. Not of this length.
At least let me keep driver in my hand. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
Well, even if
If
you
you're going
come
to limit
down
driver, you got to make it easy.
with this green, with that pin location, even if you hit a really good shot into that pin, you've got a shitty putt.
Mm-hmm.
You're not stopping that on a dime at 199. Not in this game with the physics. You're going to roll out, and wherever you go, you're still going to have a really bad putt. So, I don't know. So, see, this is my putt would be if I hit a fantastic shot from where you're at. A fantastic shot. This would be my putt. And I'm sorry, in TGC1, you can say, okay, I'm not going to argue too much about this, but these are not gimmies in 2, man. These are not gimmies. Just like that. I mean, you lip it. And if you miss it even a little bit, you roll right back down the hill. So, yeah. Sorry, Sam. I'm not a fan of this one. I'm in Panama City Beach, Florida, try hard. Reeves in Iowa.
And I just bounced off the pin on the next one and didn't help me at all. This hole is a missed opportunity, I think. The bridge is awesome, by the way. I like what he did with the bridge a lot. But could you imagine if this green were elevated a little bit more with the bunker work? It's just a missed. It's a really good spot for this hole. It's just not totally done, I don't think. Oh. Are you going to stay up?
Yep.
I thought you were going to turn to the left there for a second.
Nah. No, I put it that way too hard for it to even take the break.
Okay, the next hole. The next hole is what I was expecting. You have to go to an overhead shot to really appreciate it.
So, Try Hard Guy is asking, so what do you consider good, challenging green designs? I'll let you answer that one. Because there's not a blanket answer for it. I mean, there's a lot of ways to accomplish things, but...
Yeah, I mean, but believe it or not, the greens that used to give me the biggest fits were Andre's old greens, which didn't have a lot of different slopes to them. They had one giant predominant slope that just was borderline yellow from one side to the other. To me, good green design is less, and this is going to sound sacrilegious, but I design less for the putts and more for the approaches. That's just me. I figure once you get on the green, I'm not going to give you any putt that's going to make you tear your hair out too much, as long as you can approach it properly. If you're going to have a big green, design it in sections. Too many times people just look at the green as a whole. I think that's a mistake. I don't know. That's too hard a question to answer. I will say this, and Griff, you'll agree with me on this. I think that you're better off, instead of putting a green in and saying, how am I going to make this green slope? Look at the land around the green and let that determine how the green is going to slope. Yep. That is a huge thing in green design, in my opinion. And if the area outside the green is not helping dictate the break, then you haven't done enough with it. Go back and do something else. Is that fair to say?
Yep. I made that comment yesterday that's been one of the things that with a lot of courses I've been seeing designed lately, not necessarily what's in this contest, but just in courses I've been playing in general, that the greens are almost an afterthought as to how they play to the approach shot. It's like everybody went through and made their tee boxes, made their fairways, made the shape of their green, and then after they got everything else put in, they said, okay, now how can I do this green? And start trying to shape it and say, okay, here's this and here's that, and I can make this shot hard if I do this and that. And that's not how you design courses. Your course is built around your greens. You start with the green. You don't necessarily have to contour it at the beginning, but start thinking about where the shot's coming from into the green, you know? And I'm like you. If I have a certain elevation or the contouring is always already a certain way on the land, and it's already got a general left to right slope on it, fine. That hole's going to have a left to right sloping green. I make every other shot play off the fact that it's going to have that movement on the green, and then I just add the accents to it. But it just seems like a lot of people spend so much time trying to work out the other stuff first that they get on the greens. It's like, okay, if I put a big hill here and a contour here and lower this part here, this will be pretty tricky, and it leads to not good shots. I mean, I liken it to in TGC1 when people would make a medium firm course or a firmness setting of medium, and they're like, okay, how can I make it harder? Bam! It's a firm course. Sorry, it doesn't work. Very few courses work when that's done because they had to be designed to play firm, all the way from distances, lengths, contouring, everything. I mean, your green had to have that in mind in your design process, and to me, this is no different. It should be a focus from the beginning, I guess is what I'm saying, and it's almost an afterthought.
By the way, something good I forgot to mention, the rock wall on that previous hole that was next to the tee for this one was really nice. It was planted well. It was really cool. But no, I've seen a lot as I've been going through these courses. There are a lot of greens where I've said in my comments that nobody else can see yet, it looks like the greens are just placed onto the land instead of being part of it. Like they're just picked up and somebody put a green here. Put another green there.
I would have to agree with that.
There are a lot of real courses that do that, but it's terrible. They shouldn't do that. They should let it be part of the terrain.
Not a lot of real successful courses do that.
True. Whew, Billy. Sorry, I got to get playing here because I got to leave in a few minutes. But you'll get to hole 16 here, and there's a really neat idea for a little walking bridge. But it's like, how long is that thing? It's like 100-yard walking bridge to cross a 2-lane road.
On the next hole?
It's a neat idea. Yeah. On 16, yeah. It's a neat idea. It's just, holy mackerel. To me, it is a distraction. I mean, you'd be better off just put a crosswalk. I think it was one of those, hey, I know what I can do. Hold my beer. Or here's a callback to a stupid show. Remember Mad TV?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch any of that? And then the Stewart. Look what I can do. Stuart, no, stop, Stuart. Uh-oh, Sam, your runoff is going to get me. Ooh, it got me. That's what I get for not paying attention.
Well, I can without a doubt say this will be the last one for this afternoon. Can't handle the fucking swing, man. This is driving me nuts.
And as the case has been from the beginning, I cannot putt on PS4. I don't know if it's just I can't see the brakes the same way or what. No. And I'm sitting here playing on a 4K television. I can't see them.
Well, I was going to go back to the one question about greens. I mean, I stream quite a bit when I'm doing course design, and anybody that's ever watched me stream when I'm actually doing my layouts will recognize that my green's the first thing I put in. It's the very first thing I put in before I touch fairways, bunkers, tee boxes, anything. Green's going first. Everything else gets measured off of that and the proximity to it.
I was just waiting for you to say something like, and the proximity there too.
Thought about it.
A little too highbrow, huh?
And then I want the slopes, I want to get the general feel for it. And then I design my fairways around where that shot's going to be coming into and let the green either work the ball towards or away from, There is a method to the madness.
And see, it's odd because
I was an
think you
inch
can
away
do-
from a great shot right there. Son of a... Sorry.
I think you can do the same thing in another order. Like I will see where the green is going to be, you know what I mean, and plan my angles. But then I generally put in hazards first, which sounds odd, but it works for me.
No, I do. Once
And
I get my
then,
greens in, my bunkers are what I do next. My fairway is one of the last things I do, actually. If that's what you're saying.
and then as I put in the fairway, I kind of at the same time am thinking of the angle that I have imagined for the green. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's angles to me are the most important thing, and I think that shoots me in the foot sometimes. I think I fall into the trap of that becoming too important at times. But
Scampy says, Reeb, you're right. The Hawkeye Stadium course blows.
hey, it's called Hawkeye. I just knew it was going to be bad. So, although it thinks it's really good, it really expects to, have 10 wins. Did I say that? I think I did. And then it's disappointed when it goes to the Holiday Bowl. And it gives an extension to Kirk Ferentz. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, this one I don't mind as much because he shortened it up, but at the same time, it's only a 387-yard hole. So,
Which one?
the
Oh, the split one.
17th, yeah.
Oh, 17. No, I'm fine with that on a shorter hole like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just went down. I went down 2 clubs, and I'm still going to have a legit shot into this. So,
I got to go pick up my 3-year-old from preschool, so I'm going to sign off, man.
right on. Be good, man. Appreciate you checking in.
Yep, take it easy.
Yep, you know it. I shouldn't have lofted that because I'm intentionally playing with a slow down or backswing right now to ensure that I can get the right. Of course it's going to check up. Of course, because balls always check up coming out of the rough. Of course. And on to 18, which is a par 3. This is the second course we've had that closes with the par 3. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've seen it before. I'm just usually not a huge fan of par 3s as closing holes. Nothing wrong with it. It's just one of those personal preference things. But got some funky brushwork behind the green right there. Don't mind the runoff. Not a huge fan of the way he tied his brushes together. So it's a little bit odd looking. And there we have it. Mandolin Walk by Sam. No, it sounded like we were being rough on it, here and there, and that's not the intent. As judges, I mean, we're going to critique courses. Um, I don't know, Chad. I may give one more go here in a second. Depends on how I feel after I upload this one. But that's something that guys need to keep in mind. That I mean, we're going to point stuff out when we're playing, and we always try to point out the good. And we did point out good here, but there is going to be things that we're going to point out that we're not necessarily as cool with or whatever. But we don't want these streams to sound like they're negative in nature because they're not really. I mean, this is a good solid course, and this is likely to be on tour. It's just that when we have to start getting into the judging and picking things down and all that, this is just what we do. So please don't take anything, to heart or negative or anything else. It just is what it is. But and I'm trying to be pretty general in most of my stuff as well. But other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this one uploaded and exported so I can get it embedded in this thread later. And another good quality course by Sam.